crater, which is in the middle of a Xenon swarm, and we'll just see how it gets pounded and watch it. We'll just watch it get blown into pieces. So fast forwarding a little bit, and you can see that the engines has almost all been taken out. Most of the turrets have been taken out as well. And its shield is failing. Let's go to another engine. And the third one won't be too long before it's taken out. That's when they start deploying laser towers. As you can see, the shield generator is also being taken out. About 50% hull left. And here we go, it's being taken out. So let's go and see what's the situation nearby. Okay, so here we see another construction vessel is trying to make its way back to Hewa's Twins 1. It's currently surrounded by just a handful of Xenons, and they are not enough to take out. This construction vessel just yet. But there is a big gate camp right at the superhighway entrance. Okay, so fast forwarding a bit more. The shield is about to break on this construction vessel. It's now been overwhelmed and the engine's already out. The surface elements, some of them are already destroyed. Now they're focusing fire on the shield generator, which will be blown up in no time. So 2 extra large shield generator. Now there's one out, and there we go, another one. And it's gone. And as expected, deploying the laser towers again, but that's a futile. The resistance is futile here. Okay, so we can see that the construction vehicle vessel has been destroyed. It's totally overwhelmed, and now they are just trying to get rid of the towers nearby. It's been deployed. Now back into Hewa's Twins 1. You can see that another task fleet from the Teladi has popped up near the trade station. Obviously they traveled. and it's not going to be long as this carrier gets way too close to the eye, and its escorts aren't able to make it in time to distract the Xenons from destroying this carrier. So here we're just watching it getting exploded. And look at that explosion, it's absolutely stunning. It does this compression into the vacuum thing and then explode again, and that's gone. So now turning to see how the K is dealing with the escorts. So it is engaging one of the escort destroyers from Teladi. And the gravitons are, even though there's only two on, there are only two cannons that can hit it at the moment. It's not doing so bad. In the background we can see the other escorts are trying to shoot at the Xenon Eye with its large turrets as well. Look at these two, they're going head to head to each other. And I mean, they're literally going to go head to head and bump into each other. And I realized, I noticed that the AI actually do this sometimes, and they do that when I am even flying the ship. They somehow just use their head, but the only difference is that when this kind of thing happened to me, to the player, we usually would have taken out their front turrets, those side turrets, by the time we got into range, so that when, if by all possible means we won't be pounded by the gravitons at close range and without being able to retaliate. But well, we're talking about the AI here, and now apart from the K, which now none of its turrets has the line of sight, it's also been chased by a group of medium small escorts, and the K has instead wander off and start pounding at the station instead. And here we see that another station module been destroyed, and the destroyer is once again going into range and close quarters with the eye, trying to do what is that, trying to broadside it. Got into the broadside of the eye and got totally obliterated by by the eye, and they are totally being massacred right now. So yeah, with only a handful of destroyers, they will, and out in the open grounds, they stand no chance against the gigantic ship, capital ship that the Xenon Eye is. You can see that it's just getting totally pounded. There's 8 graviton turrets. If you count the other ones, that's also in the middle section. That is like 12 turrets, and they just constantly pound at their targets at a quick speed. The gravitons are actually pretty fast, have a pretty fast projectile speed, so they can actually track. Oh, look, there's another K. So they can actually track the medium-sized ships and even the bigger, slower, heavy fighters as well. So the the Talati fleet stood no chance. There's another destroyer, but it's going to go, no, 2 actually. They're going to go head-to-head with the other K that's popping up in the background right now, and they will be in range. And so that's why we switching our camera to it now. And they're just waiting to get into range. So this is totally massacre. Looking at the K's closing in, and the Eye acting as a huge deterrent, preventing the Pilates to regroup, and this definitely proved to be a huge disaster for the Pilates, that they simply just cannot win the fight. And there's plenty of explosions here, plenty of fireworks to watch. Yeah, so for the remaining bits after this Pilates destroyer on the right hand side of the screen get destroyed, all the Xenons do is just attacking at the trade station, and trying very hard to destroy it, but they have extremely thick HP as we mentioned before, and this will just carry on for the remaining of the session. And elsewhere down Empire's Mist, where outside the Khaak station, I'm just struggling to find out how to actually restock the missiles efficiently, and I spent a lot of time trying to figure it out. It's just a programming flaw that X4 does not work very well with the missiles. Fast forward in a bit, and back in Hewa's Twins 1, and the Pilates have a lone destroyer here, and it seems like their economy can't keep up with producing enough ships now to respond to the Xenon incursion. As you can see that when it's 1-on-1 out in the open, the destroyers are no match for the Ks. outside of the station. The Teladi was so tight on their hand that they cannot supply enough ships to defend the station, and the Paranid, the Gold Realm of Paranid, had to actually step in and start sending in their fleet as well. However, for a start, they only send in a small number of destroyers, and it does not help the situation that they are heavily outnumbered and outgunned. And as we can see, that this destroyer does not have a chance, does not look like it has a chance of surviving, with the K hitting it, and most of its modules, especially the engines, has been taken out already. So it's really just a sitting duck. One hilarious thing is that it's stationary and the K simply can't hit it with its gravitons for the next 20 seconds or so, almost, until we got a little bit lucky with a few more shots. And there, we finally got it. Finally got this Paranid destroyer. On the far side, there's still the wrecks everywhere to be found. It is a horrible battlefield. Alright, going back to Highest Mist, checking on how the actual fleet is doing against the Khaaks. Truth be told, it's not really pretty. They just sit there idly being pounded by the Khaaks and they're not responding. I got ships that just not arming themselves, not rearming themselves because of the flaw in X-Force programming. They simply just not going to reload
Nemesis.
anything.
Sentinel. Awaiting orders.
That's
Guard.
such a disappointment, so I decided to take the helm off the ship by myself. See, these missiles do work very well. One volley, that's all you need. It's just one volley can get rid of the ships. If it's a player piloted, it doesn't need to keep shooting out the missiles and waste them, then spam the missiles like the AIs do. But too bad the AI just won't utilize these kind of things. They will just spam on every cooldown finishes. They spam the missiles until the target is eventually destroyed. At that very instant, they'll stop shooting. So, yeah, it's very tedious that I have to actually rearm the missiles myself. If that missile is not the heaviest missile that I can actually access, it's a fair bit of a disappointment. Alright, so still sitting in our cockpit. We'll just have some thrill of piloting the ship ourselves and give ourselves a bit of break between managing and map scrolling. So these light swarm missiles, they are relatively fast enough, 700 meters per second, more than 700 meters per second speed. We're just shooting at the ships that once a hit is registered, they will have their travel drive disrupted.
Awaiting orders.
So we're just gonna go and manually dispatch the Khaaks that's been attacking our food supply ships. Traders. Now we do have to pause from time to time because somehow it's a little bit difficult to select the targets when they're moving, and the mouse art is actually very easily visible. As you can see that if we are piloting the ships, they are really quite powerful, and the light. I mean, what good is a missile? What good is anything if they can't hit? No matter how strong, how powerful they are. I mean, if they can't hit, you're dealing with 0 DPS. And so that's the thing is, I think the missiles in X4 need some sort of tweak and overhaul.
Forager.
That the heavy missiles, none of the heavy missiles are really intended for a dogfight. And unfortunately, the AIs for the player, with the auto resupply of missiles, they always go for the heavy missiles. And that sort of ended up like totally not ideal.
Forager.
Because obviously, for example, like fighting the Khaak, or even just fighting the slowest ship. We're talking about slowest fighter that's still traveling at 200 meters per second. The heavy missiles can't hit them at all. And with the torpedoes and things like that, it's the same thing, except they're designed to hit big targets, but they don't actually travel faster. But by their default speed, and you have to actually use something like a boost or travel drive to let them have an initial speed that's higher than their rated travel speed, to actually hit something like Xenon K or things like that, because they're traveling at less than 100 meters per second, whereas the ones from I love the beautiful blue trails. So yeah, that guy's going really fast. That missiles time out. So yeah, so we're just talking about, yeah, see, it's just one volley. If it hits, it will just take it. It will just take them out. But the AIs just can't do that. And yeah, so we're talking about the destroyers traveling at, all the destroyers traveling at faster than 100 meters per second. So what use is a torpedo if it can't go faster than that? I mean, even nowadays the navies have torpedoes that travel faster than ships can maneuver. So I don't know, I don't get how the missiles, it's like a totally unfinished aspect. Like initially the swarm missiles don't do anything, from what I've read in forums. Now they're perfect, they're really good, but it's not of no use if the AI don't stop them. And so that is a big disappointment. They said there's going to be improvement coming on for the next public beta, but we have no idea when that will be and available. And there will be some fixes for the resupplying and restocking algorithms, and we just hope that it does not disappoint.
I didn't mean to hit you. Sorry.
Oh no, friendly fire. So here we are, getting ourselves into the fray, just to escape some boredom. So yeah, we teleported one of our nemesis. Oh, look at that. Oh, one of the Phoenix got hit. What's that? Look. Oh, that's because it's a K coming through. And in sector, they basically just sitting there and getting themselves pounded. That's not so good, is it? But other than that, we're having a blast here in our shiny Nemesis with lots of swarm missiles. Ideally, this is how we should be dealing with the case. If the missiles take out their surface elements, but yes, the AI doesn't know how to do that, so we have to show them how it's done, but they will never learn. Look at that, the swarm missiles just go and hit.
Awaiting orders.
Take out the turret straight away. And we just need to go and select the next element, next surface element, next turret that's hitting our battleships that's sitting here doing nothing. So in sector they're totally useless, almost. You can see my other Nemesis is crazy spamming their missiles as well.
Jump fleet. Firecrest cascade.
Trying to see what we can do to stop the K from destroying our destroyers. Apparently they've not been very effective. And the light swarm missile is a good thing is that it has a very good reload speed too. But I just didn't get it to the right angle, so yeah, it's just causing the engines with a little bit of splash damage, but it's not really destroying the engine. The good thing about it is that you don't need a lock on with these missiles. I can just shoot it at target without waiting for the lock icon, which is supposed to look like a diamond, a red diamond, something. I don't have to wait for them to be locked on like heat-seeking missiles or the guided missiles. There we go. Before we even destroy the engines, it's been taken out finally, with two of my battleships heavily damaged. One of them down to half hull. That was a close call. So here at Hewa's Choice, things doesn't stay dull at all. Always Xenons popping through the Khaak cascade gauge into Hewa's Choice. So I leave that as one of my less boring fronts, or one of the more interesting battlefronts before we venture into the Xenon space or the split space. So lots of fireworks and lots of explosions, which is absolutely stunning sometimes when you look at them, especially with the flat cannons. They do look good, don't they? Got a bit of lasers, so we don't have tracking issues to the small ships or the medium ships. In fact, some of them travel through the gate at full speed. I almost got some friendly fire. It's almost pretty much inevitable with the friendly fires. Likewise, we're just saying that there's a lot of missiles going around, and I do like the look of them. It's just that I wish the AI can do the restocking a lot better. And here we see the Xenons just keep popping and keep popping out. Alright, and here we got a pirate harassment down in Grand Exchange. One of our cormorants. The good thing about cormorant is that they actually, for a medium ship, they actually have one main gun plus 2 turrets. So in essence, they can fight. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm taking it right up against this Minotaur Raider with just 2 turrets and 1 main shard cannon. Just got plasma, so if I'm lucky, sometimes a few direct hits like this one, they can actually take out the fragile ships. But the cormorant is rather tough, so I'm kind of comfortable sitting there and use it as a dogfight between them and the medium pirates. Obviously the pirates get really upset and they just hit me with another plasma. It almost took out my shield.
Awaiting orders.
The thing about the burst, the shard is that their burst damage. As you can see that if it hits, take out their health, take out their hull by quite a bit, and you just abandon the ship. I don't have any marines on this ship, so I can't claim this abandoned ship, but they'll remain there for a long time. Yeah, so this is where I leave you for now. If you like my videos, please feel free to subscribe and follow me on various platforms. Leave a comment, a like, and they're always welcome, and we'll see you again next time.